From One of One Production Studios, broadcasting from NYC, you are listening to Unexpected Success with your host, Joy.
So, I guess, what did you take out of the experience at Bad Boy? We went through so much, I think, just in terms of just being at the hottest place on the planet at the time. You know what I mean? I think it was hard for all of us to leave, but we all knew we had to, right? And I guess, what was your biggest takeaway from working with Puff and working at Bad Boy?
Nobody's going to give you anything. Whatever you want, you have to just pretty much go get it and snatch it. Always, and it's funny that what I'm about to say, because I'm literally just learning this now, that when you're on time, you're late.
Right.
Always be early, even if it's going to take you a minute to, prepare yourself for what you're about to get into, or even it's even like on some street shit. It's like, if you're about to go meet somebody, you want to get there early and make sure, you scour your surroundings and see what's going on. I've always learned basically how to build your brand and learn how to tell your own story, because you really don't want anybody to dictate who you are and tell your story for you. And I think that's pretty much that's not pretty much it, but for the most part of it is building a brand and making a noise for yourself.
So how did you end up getting into like styling people, and who have you styled?
How did I get into style? I got into styling through Groove.
Right, of course.
But then after Big's untimely demise, Groove outgrew the company and started building his own brand, and he moved on. So that kind of put me, it's funny because all the work that I was doing with Groove, it didn't put me in the place of becoming the in-house stylist right away, which is kind of funny style, but it's cool.
Right.
And I take that for what it's worth today.
Yep.
But and I probably wasn't ready, but I knew I was ready.
Yeah.
But actually, you know what? I knew I was ready. They didn't think I was ready.
Right.
Right?
That is
but when the opportunity came, I smashed it.
Right.
Okay, so I became the in-house stylist for the second generation of Bad Boy, which is Loon, Carl Thomas, Black Rob, G. Depp, Sean Poe, Mark Curry, so on and so forth, New Edition, so on and so forth. And how I actually became Puff's personal stylist was Norma, at this time now, is Puff's executive assistant, right. And Tracy Waples was head of marketing. Told Puff, like, you need a personal stylist right now. Yeah. Like, you can dress, but
shout out to Tracy.
Yeah, shout out to Trey Wop, Storm and Norm. And they told Puff, Mike B could be your stylist or whatever, and pretty much do it, but he wasn't receptive to it immediately. How I knew it was growing on is because after or during each photo shoot, as he comes and looks at the wardrobe, because him being the micromanager he would look at the wardrobe, and then at the end he would say, okay, so where's my stuff at? And the first couple of times I lied and said, well, I gave it to your assistant. Don't worry. You know what I mean? But then I would run around and try and put something together.
Yeah.
So, but then later on, moving forward, I always had his stuff decked out.
Laid out,
towards the side. And then one day, he was like, yo, do me a favor, just meet me at the crib 9 tomorrow morning.
And you knew you were in.
And it was an easy transition because I used to be his personal liaison anyway.
So you knew it.
So I already knew the routine. You understand? So that was a pretty organic transition in itself.
Yeah. And then you went on to style.
And then I went on to, I didn't just go on to styling because at first people didn't want to hire me as a stylist because they wanted to keep me in this box because they felt like I was a bad boy stylist, and that was that. Right? But people didn't really understand that each artist has its own characteristic and their own
each
style,
brand.
right?
Yeah.
Puff in himself has 50 different characteristics, from being the rapper, the mogul, the philanthropist, the marathon runner, to where I was blessed to style him, help design all his wardrobe for the marathon. I was blessed to go to the Nike corporate, co-design the shoe that he ran in. And it was just so much. I helped design the 25th anniversary shell toe Adidas with Puff. I helped design the Nike Bad Boy collaboration for the Revolutions with Puff.
Wow.
So it was a lot that was going on, but the people on the outside didn't see that.
Yeah.
So what I had to do is I had to build the brand of Mike B in itself as a stylist, and pretty much just start taking these upcoming artists to where I was, pretty much developing their image and giving them a fashion brand of who they are in itself. And, I was blessed to start working with the Pit Bulls, the T-Pains, the Chris Browns, the Yo Gottis, early, and really help these cats understand what fashion is to the marriage of.
So were you taking them from being kind of
artist,
urban, to getting dressed and being able to put on a proper suit, or were
Well, it was everything. It was just showing them that, okay, you as an artist, your style plays a lot in who you are as this person that the world is beginning to see.
Right.
And it's not just you dressing in your videos. Now it's transitioning into doing red carpet looks. And how do you dress when you're going to this particular event, depending on, what's going on in that ambiance or atmosphere. And a lot of them, they really took towards that, and then certain brands and labels started to see what I was doing with Chris and with Pitbull, and it just really started. The word started traveling.
To flourish, right?
Yeah, and then I started working with the Nas's and the Ludacris, and then it turned into working with Rockaware, because after styling Puff, it also turned into becoming co-creative director for Sean John as well, too. So nobody really at the time understood who Puff is, and his style and his lifestyle and his taste in fashion better than me.
Yeah.
So he would have me communicate that with Jeff Tweedy and Dowie at the time, and I would get certain pieces from Puff's closet, and this is a particular piece, but I think we should flip it like this, or boom, 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 whatever the case. So that added to build the brand of Sean John. Verse.
So your hands are kind of almost in everything.
Yeah,
in
absolutely,
that regard.
Absolutely. So that doing that was very instrumental to moving on to working at Rockaware. And shout out to Jamil Spencer. After he left Blue Flame, he brought me into that realm. Jay wanted me to get him certain pieces for his personal leisure, and which was dope. And that moved into working with Steve Stout, and Steve Stout being the marketing mogul, and I would say I call him the bridge between entertainment and corporate. Where for those that don't really know what that is, it's like you take a brand and you take an entertainer and you merge that together to where Justin Timberlake came to McDonald's, and then they came up with the I'm Loving It.
Yeah.
To where it was Stout telling Jacob, you need to do a Jacob watch, so on and so forth. So Steve having these brands under his company of translation was State Farm. I did the early State Farm commercials with LeBron and Chris Paul.
Man, that's awesome.
Budweiser commercials, McDonald's commercials. It was just really never ending. And then, later on, here I am now,
Yeah.
where I'm still working with the Ludacris's from Fast Furious 5 all the way out.
Oh man.
Working with Shaggy and Sting, and being blessed to do movies with Ruth Carter, and I'm just still at the end of the day I'm still growing because I was blessed with this name, the Prince of Fashion, from Ralph Lauren, and once he gave me that name, I kind of felt like I was knighted.
That's awesome.
And still to this day, people are like, yo, you're like a king now. You need to change that to a king of fashion. But it's not about just being a king. It's
not about that, right?
It's about showing humility, because I feel like me still calling myself the Prince of Fashion, it still allows room for growth.
Of course.
Right?
I mean, do you feel successful?
Absolutely.
You do?
Absolutely. I don't feel like I'm where I need to be.
Right.
But I'm very happy
you're still hungry, which
with
is good.
where I came from.
Right.
And I'm not there anymore. So,
and you lived in London for a few years. How long were you guys in London?
I did London 4.5, 5 years with the wife, with Dee. That was an experience, working at Ralph Lauren, being the RRL ambassador for London.
Unbelievable.
Being the first in-house stylist for Ralph Lauren, to working at Selfridges in London, which is like the Saks.
Oh no, I love
which is like the Saks.
What do you call it? Fashion, for the fashion horse.
Right. For those that really don't know, Selfridges
yeah.
in London is like the Saks Fifth Avenue of London, and I was able to work with them in sales and personal shopping, and and then also just being in London, building relationships. Shout out to Art Comes First and A&Z Clothing, who were like, pretty much like my fashion family out there, who really took me in and showed me, another side of London, to where when you're from New York City, you can go anywhere in the world, right? And basically freestyle and make it, right? And you can bounce it, flip it, remix it, and pretty much make it your own.
Yeah.
But, shout out to Sam and Shaka of Art Comes First. These guys really showed me and took me in like as a little brother, like, yo, bro, this is London, and this is how you should kind of move building your brand in London, to this is what you need to do with your brand as your brand grows and develops. So, still to this day, those guys is like my big homies.
That's awesome.
And, building personal clientele over in London too. You get to meet certain like kings and queens and prince and princesses, and like a Sultan or Brunei could just walk into Ralph any day, and you just happen to help him. You don't know who he is at first, but then, being, it was more than just trying to sell somebody a shirt because they like the shirt. But sometimes you have to take the initiative. If you really are the hustler, you would show them how to put that shirt together with a full look. Now they're walking out the store with that entire look. Right. You understand what I'm saying? To building a relationship, to me getting them ready for certain events and red carpets and packing them for trips and bang, bang, bang. So, it's...
So do you like what you do, Mike? Are you happy with your life?
I'm very happy with my life.
So, I mean, the purpose of this podcast really is...
I'm not satisfied.
That's fine.
But I'm very happy with my life. I'm happy with my growth.
Yeah, so we the purpose is to kind of to share untold stories and to try to inspire people young and old.
But I'm not unexpected success though.
No, I mean,
because I feel like my success is expected,
right?
Especially of me coming from within. But I guess it's unexpected for the ones that doubt you.
That's exactly the purpose.
Okay.
That's
so,
the purpose.
So
the
for
purpose
the ones
is
that
the
doubted
people
me
that,
and never thought that I would do what I'm doing and
it's untold
didn't
stories,
believe,
right? So
right.
I think, the basis of it was seeing that, obviously I work with Reggie Osei. He was a huge podcaster.
Rest in peace.
Exactly.
Reg,
and I was
Comeback Jack.
exactly
Big brother,
heavily
almighty.
impacted by it, right? And so
no doubt.
it's all these success stories, and we know so many people that have done so well. But if you turn on the TV, if you look on social media, the narrative is that
Oh my God.
the narrative is terrible. And I'm like, wait, but I know people that are doing amazing things, and
they don't have over maybe 400 followers.
my point. So I'm like, I wanted to expose the people to the Mike B story.
That's super dope.
And your path, right?
Thank you.
And I guess what piece of advice would you impart to a young Mike B who's trying to figure it all out, has no idea how his story is going to end, may be in jail right now, right? Don't know who their lawyer is, how they're going to get out, how they're going to be successful. What would you tell them? Take your time with it. I think it's an important one. Your young self, right?
It's funny you ask that because I don't think I would have changed. I wouldn't change a thing. I think the only thing I probably would have did is do more homework, do more research, take advantage of just like seeking more information, rather than just, I'm not gonna say trying to be cool because I wasn't that
You were
guy
who you were,
that
right.
was trying to be cool. I was just yo, what
Yeah.
up? Let's go.
Yeah,
What's
you were
good?
on ready.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, I still would have, if I could go back, I would have did more homework. I would have did more research.
So you would tell a young person today, do more research.
Do more research.
homework.
Learn where you come from, because it might sound very cliche, but if you don't know where you're from, you'll never know where you're going.
Right. Do it for free, right?
Absolutely. And don't be afraid. Sometimes it's not about the money. I get it. Y'all say, yo, we got to get that bag. You got to get that bag. But sometimes you have to take a step backwards to move forward. Sometimes you have to compromise, certain
a short-term bag.
Yeah, you might have to compromise taking that quick money to building something that's going to be everlasting. Like one thing that I love about being at Bad Boy is that I was and just moving forward with Groove, and before I even got to Bad Boy, is that I was learning how to fish. So that way, once you learn how to fish, you can eat forever.
Oh yeah.
So it wasn't just about just trying to go out and get the fish.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. No. One thing for sure, I think we can identify with, there was no handouts at Bad Boy.
Oh, absolutely not.
Everything that you got, you
had to work hard for it, right?
For it.
And if they didn't see you working hard for it, you had to work harder.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't change. There's very, very little I would not change about me, my growing up, me running around, getting in trouble, whatever the case may be, because I feel because I feel like everything that I've done in my past has made me the man that I am today. So I have literally no regrets whatsoever.
That's amazing.
I may have did some real wicked shit, but I learned from it.
You happy?
You know what I mean?
You're blessed to have
absolutely
to have survived it.
So
before we
it wasn't a loss. It was more
Right.
more lessons than a loss.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So before we go,
Yes.
I want you to show your piece. I know you have one piece, and we haven't shown that, but we have to wrap. But before we go,
okay. So
can you show the piece?
So this is from my collection.
Love it.
With it's a collaboration with Cockpit USA. Cockpit USA, for those that don't know, they used to make the Avirexes for us.
Oh yeah.
In like the 90s, and they also make all the outerwear for the U.S. Armed Forces. So
it's so well done, Mike.
So basically, they also did the full wardrobe for Top Gun the movie.
Okay.
So I wanted to
I love it. We gotta take a picture of that.
Get to pop my tag.
Yeah, I know. Pop the tag.
Pop my tag.
It's a beautiful.
This has always been a dream.
It's beautiful
to be able
too.
To pop my own tag.
It's beautiful.
You know,
it's
so that's
so well
why
done. Yeah.
I still leave the tag there. But
it's leather.
Yeah,
everything is well done. So well done. So well done.
So this is the Greenberg waistline shearling. Y'all know Greenberg is where I'm from.
Exactly.
The reason why I started off with my collection with the leather details because as I was growing up in like the 80s, you know, leather was always something that made you feel kind of supreme.
Yeah.
Like, you know? So, you know, it's like even watching Happy Days, Arthur Fonzarelli had that leather jacket.
And of course.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, it was epic.
Right. Or watching Crush Groove and
well
seeing
done.
Curtis Blow come out on the roof with that white leather jacket to talk to Run. It was just something, whether it was a leather bomber or a sheepskin that just showed some
My
type
mom
of
never
luxury
let me have
in
any
the
of
hood.
that, so I'm
Yeah.
But I think I want one, Mike. I think I want one. I'm gonna take mine
Let's
today.
Let's go.
You
Let's
know?
go.
But
Let's go.
anyway, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank
I
you
really
for having me.
appreciate you coming
Thank you for
through
having
to the
me.
studio.
Yes, ma'am.
And thanks, guys, for tuning in to another episode with me. Unexpected Success with me, your host.
The
Joy.
unexpected.
I know.
The
You can
unexpected.
find us on iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, YouTube, and Podbean. Hit subscribe once you've listened. Leave us a note.
Joy, I'm really proud of you, though.
I appreciate that.
I'm really proud of you. I wanted the camera to catch that real
I
quick.
appreciate
I'm
that.
really proud
On
of
day one joy, right?
Nah, no doubt. Make a joyful noise, y'all. Make a joyful
Hey.
noise.
Until next time, guys, keep winning, Mike. Keep winning. I'm
Thank
so
you, baby.
proud of you, too.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
This podcast was brought to you by 23DB Productions, ID Productions, and One of One Productions. For more information, go to Facebook and Instagram, Unexpected Success with Joy.